I'm Bobby Blair, and this is Being Bobby Blair.
I'm Kitty Meow, and we're a unique first-time ever partnership of OutSFL and HOTspots happening out. Wait, now they're working together? Is that really happening?
We really are. We'll be talking about what's all hot at HOTspots, including the new Broadway season across South Florida. And let's talk about Pridelines Queerferno. Let's also discuss Elon Musk as a dad.
We will be talking about the big SFL stories at OutSFL, including the coming OutSFL Awards, and we talk about that LGBTQ candidates are doing to make their cases in this next election cycle.
I'm going to be talking about my column today in OutSFL on my journey with my great friend, legendary LGBTQ sports legend, Billy Beane.
We'll also be talking about the drama that is Lady Bunny.
All next on Being Bobby Blair. Welcome to Being Bobby Blair. I had an exciting career as a professional tennis player and then founded one of the largest LGBTQ publishing media companies in America, along with being the founder of an LGBTQ financial company that launched financial products on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ.
Yes, Bobby. Welcome to Being Bobby Blair. I'm that Kitty Meow. I have been an entertainer and drag queen based in South Florida since the early 1860s and have performed and interviewed with the who's who of people interesting to the LGBTQ plus community.
And this show will reunite the iconic media brands in South Florida. OutSFL and HOTspots Happening Out have joined forces to support the community, support the idea that LGBTQ perceived competition can actually work together and prove all boats rise in the tide together.
So let's get Being Bobby Blair started. Let's start with what's hot. What are we up to? Sorry.
Well, Kitty, this past Friday evening, we had an incredible night at Guys in the Drive at Tropics Grill. I mean, there were so many young people, so much activity. It was the who's who of, it felt like Fort Lauderdale. And what I loved about the concept of Guys on the Drive, and I was part of creating that type of concept with Scott Holland, and Oscar Novo is the founder of it, was find this unsung heroes talent. Yeah. Find that talent that really not everybody has seen yet. And these kids got up there and put on a 90-minute show that was one for the ages. I must say, elbow to elbow, jam-packed.
Yes.
And the great news is we'll be there again next Friday night, where Guys in the Drive will have their second show. And I really have my fingers crossed, because if they have another sold-out evening at Tropics, I think that Tropics will consider booking them going forward into the fall and season. So I've been doing Guys in the Drive, and then so happy to announce that we've been able to transition our top team members at Tropics and Scandals. So I was able to announce that Michael Lostrom is now the new full-time general manager at Scandals. And we were able to announce that Rick Johnson is now the full-time manager at Tropics. And I'm back just helping Con, the owner, with code enforcement issues, business issues, legal issues, kind of doing what I signed up to do and to help the legacy of my great friend Bob de Benedictis. So you won't see me as much at the bars or restaurants doing the day-to-day, but know I'm there and I'm making things happen.
I'm so thrilled for the Guys on the Drive, because en route to Guys on the Drive last week, we stopped off over at Julian's Fountain of Youth, and he does a mix and mingle every Friday. It's so solid, lots of community members. He's doing a huge event coming up on the 23rd of September, the Reverse Quinceañera. They're honoring 7 of the most prominent LGBTQ icons who are drag queens in the community. Melissa St. John, also Electra, Tiffany Ariagas, Daisy Dead Petals, yours truly, and I'm missing out someone else, but we went there, we had a great time, and then we were coming to Guys on the Drive, and as we were parking, we saw Josie from Josie Smith Malvey, the superstar chef who owns Bubbles and Pearls, what had closed, but is only closed for a reopening. So we went in, we had a great conversation about it. We recorded it. It's online. Check it out. And then we arrived at Guys on the Drive. We were so happy to see how busy it was. I was running around trying to find anyone there. That was truly remarkable. Evan is amazing. The piano players, the live vocals. I mean, you cannot beat that type of talent. And everyone was definitely there.
And a big part of the show was you were hosting it. It brought such energy and enthusiasm. And you and I got a chance to share the stage together for a few minutes. And
yes,
I just think that what they're doing at Tropics is phenomenal. The shows are amazing. Rick Leonard, you have Jennifer McLean, Miss Bouvier, really, really something. And I got to give credit to the other places, the West End, and they're really putting together fantastic stuff. So a busy week we had this week. Looking forward to next week. Kitty, let's get into now what's happening in out South Florida.
Absolutely, Bobby. Now, did you know that this December, HotSpots magazine will be celebrating 40 years of documenting the LGBTQ plus experience? Now, let's look at some of those fun stories and experiences in a segment we call What's Hot at HotSpots. What's hot from HotSpots magazine? Now, the story this week, did you know that Elon Musk is questionable as a dad? Elon Musk's daughter, Vivian Jenna Wilson, continues to be attacked on her trans identity from her father. She's called him out this week on both of the comments on X and in his new book, of course, where he has a lot to say about her and, of course, so many others. And he was saying that he was grossed out by the trans virus. He lost it to the trans virus.
I just find that word virus to be so offensive and so incorrect when we are really just trying to celebrate everybody's own walk of life. Can we not celebrate everybody to run their own race?
Yes.
And I find it very, very interesting that somebody that has so much intelligence, who's been so incredibly successful and creative, could not understand the creativity that we're all different.
Yes.
And we're not in a box, and we shouldn't be put in a box. And for him to do this to his son and to ruin this young man's life, and for this person now to be trans, which is not his choice, it's a she.
Yeah.
And I am disgusted by Elon Musk on this. As much as I've praised him for so many other things, this bothers me.
I totally agree 100%. Elon Musk is probably, if he was not in this world, the world would be a better place. I am just saying, we have been members of marginalized and underprivileged communities for years. And, we fight so hard just to get the recognition and the acceptance. And to hear something like that from someone who's as prominent as he is, I think he really gets the poo-poo award of the year.
Kitty, what I think of is the absolute opposite of the legend Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
How he embraces this subject and embraces his daughter.
Yeah.
Right? And that beautiful child would not have the life that they're living today, other than probably the luxuries of money and access. Mm-hmm. But to have embraced his lifestyle and who he is and who he was born to be is magical. Elon, take a lesson from the great Magic Johnson. Go hit some free throws and winners in life. No, craziness. Let's talk about what else is hot from HotSpots magazine. The new Broadway season launches across South Florida. 42nd Street is back, and of course we mean the new Broadway theater season that comes to South Florida. We are so lucky to have some of the largest variety of big theater houses in all of America. Next month, Broadway comes back to the Broward Performing Arts Center, the Parker Arts Center in Miami, the Kravitz Center in Palm Beach, and many smaller houses, including our very own LGBTQ Sunshine Cathedral Center for Performing Arts. This is so great, Kitty.
It is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, look at this. It's the cover story on HotSpots this week, and to have something that is cultural, that's engaging and entertaining, it truly, truly is awesome. And the LGBTQ community have seen the best in talent, and Broadway is a favorite pastime for everyone.
It's very, very exciting, and I heard that Starlight Express came back again after all these years, and they're now in London. it will sure to hit Broadway and then find its way to South Florida. But there's so many memorable hits that are coming through this season. And I know I'm going to be at many of these shows, and hopefully we'll be going to some of them together. Very exciting. I just think it's amazing. South Florida is without question one of the best places in the world to call home.
Absolutely. Now, what's hot from HOTspots? Right here, OUTshine LGBTQ Film Festival returns. Now, one of the world's largest LGBTQ film festivals is getting ready to return. Now, with their signature cinema and cocktail event on August the 22nd to the full festival in Fort Lauderdale, returning October the 17th through the 27th. OUTshine is one of the signature cultural events on our LGBTQ calendar.
So exciting.
Yes.
The movies are amazing.
Yes.
And, you know, when you think about now, we have so much access to all of these cable channels.
Yes.
And to be able to have a better familiar feel for the producers and the directors and the content creators, and to be able to go see some of their new performances and new movies literally here in Fort Lauderdale before they ever hit the cable is very exciting.
There's local producers, directors, entertainers. Peter Bersuito, won. He came from the film festival, won in almost every film festival all over the country. But it just goes to show there's so much amazing talent in South Florida and in the LGBTQ plus community overall that they tell amazing stories about their lifetime experiences, and it's really uplifting. I love it.
And really, it's an entire day out because you can go and watch 2 or 3 movies in a row. You can eat, have great drinks. And the way they put these festivals on is just really an experience. It's like going and watching a Miami Heat basketball game or a hockey game or going to the Broward Center and watching a play. I mean, this is really an experience. And people book their weekends around this. And it's I know that it's one of my favorite times of the year. Anyway, what's hot from HOTspots? It's time for Queerferno with Pridelines Gala on August the 17th. Pridelines is one of Florida's most important nonprofit organizations, Kitty, for LGBTQ youth. They provide emergency housing, help in food scarcity, provide health care, and do so much more. And their annual Pridelines Gala is August 17th, being held at the Coral Gables Country Club, called Queerferno. It's a tribute to the disco days of the past.
Ooh, I cannot wait. That is going to be outstanding. So much fun.
Well, we're going to be sitting together. Yes. I already got my outfit. I went over to His and Hers today on Wilton Drive.
Hey, Sandy.
I've picked out my outfit to be able to accommodate you as my guest. And I can't say date or Brian might get a little upset,
right?
But we are going to be there in form and fashion.
I'm very happy for Pridelines. Nonprofits in South Florida, obviously, certainly under attack. But listen, we do the work because this is what we believe in and this is what we want. Being a board member of Pride Fort Lauderdale, I celebrate. Go Pridelines.
I think that what they do for LGBTQ youth, homeless youth, how they're educating, providing mentors, they're doing so much. I believe that every young person, irregardless of their family background, single mom, dad leaves home, orphaned, if you can find a mentor, sometime between the ages of 7 and 12 to 15, a mentor can change your life forever, give you a direction. For you kids that are watching today, watching the show, no matter what your situation is, contact Pridelines. They will help you. You can find yourself in college in a few short years. You can find yourself in healthy relationships. You can beat any type of drug addiction. All you have to do is dream that dream, get the support you need, and Pridelines provides that, Kitty. And I wouldn't miss this event for the world under any circumstances.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. Now, this is just a taste of the hot events that's going on in South Florida. Now, we encourage you to pick up a copy of HOTspots magazine to see everything that you don't want to miss this week, of course. Now, it's our LGBTQ entertainment Bible in South Florida. I love HOTspots.
I do actually now. As a longtime LGBTQ publisher here in South Florida, New York, and Los Angeles, and in 90 cities around North America with fun maps, I know how special South Florida is at the heart of America's LGBTQ community. Our lives are just better here in South Florida, and that is true for our time-tested print media. Being Bobby Blair helps show our community that we can all work together. That is never more true than with OutSFL as our partner. OutSFL is the support and source of news in LGBTQ South Florida. Let's look at OutSFL and some of the important stories of this week. The big story from OutSFL, I don't know if you've heard, Kitty, but we're getting ready to have an election.
Yes.
Yeah. An election, Trump, Harris, kind of like blah, blah, blah to me, but wait a second. Vote. OutSFL reports on all the important things LGBTQ candidates are doing to make their cases for primary elections. Kitty, it is so important, and we've heard it a million times, that we get out to vote. And I mean, everybody, if you want to have a voice and you want to be able to have the luxury of sitting around and discussing your thoughts and feelings, emotions, you really only earn that if you vote, because the world is shaped by our vote. The people we like either get elected because we voted or they don't. And so for people to not vote and for them to not take the initiative to own and empower the future of this country, to me is something that I think we really need to think long and hard about. So I've never been more emphatic about voting, and I just hope everybody else is. This is a big election. I know they always say it. I've heard it ever since the day I was born. Oh, this is the turning point of America. Well, I think for one of those times, this is the time it could be.
Absolutely. It is imperative that everyone gets registered, vote early, vote by mail, but just vote. It gives you the power and the authority to command respect for your life and your existence. I'm from the Bahamas. It is such a privilege to live in this country where democracy is at the forefront of everything everyone do, and it only happens through a democratic process of voting and selecting the persons to
and peaceful.
Yes.
And I think it's hugely important to always respect other people's view.
Absolutely.
This canceled culture of eliminating people from the face of the earth based on how they feel. Mm-hmm. You don't know a person until you've walked in their shoes. And I've never walked in anybody else's shoes. So I don't want to deem to be the person that wants to dictate how you should live your life. And I think that if we all treated each other that way,
yes,
this world would be so much better.
Yes, we just have to open up the lines of communication. I can't stand cancel culture. I think it's tired. But
yeah, and I think in our lifetime, it can go away with the right leadership.
Absolutely. Now, the big story from OutSFL, OutSFL reports that they are ready to announce the OutSFL Your Choice Awards nominations. Sorry about that. Now, the South Florida LGBTQ community has been busy nominating drag queens, TV stars, restaurants, bars, best burgers, and more. Now, did I mention drag queens? It's called the Your Choice Awards, and OutSFL will announce the finalists for all to vote on. Now, who is your choice in the best of the best?
I was at Java Joe's this morning on my computer at OutSFL.com, which, by the way, gets millions of views. People don't realize how much traffic OutSFL really serves up every month. And I filled it out, and I can tell you, Kitty Meow, everywhere I saw Kitty Meow, check, 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 check. And I think you're going to be an overall huge winner. But I also think it's important that we take it very seriously.
Yeah.
These businesses work very hard. They spend so much money. Many of these owners have put their life savings at risk for these small businesses that we're voting on. And if they deserve it, you got to vote for the one that really, really serves up the best product, brand, service, how they give back to the community, how participating they are with serving the underprivileged, to what they do at the Pride Center. Do they support SunServe? I mean, I took all of these things and a lot more into consideration than, oh, the donut was good or the coffee tasted good.
True. Here.
Anyways, the big story from OutSFL. Aqua Foundation leader Mateo Ventura Bruer steps down and moves to California abruptly. The first trans leader in Aqua Foundation's history has resigned. He has decided to move to a more trans-friendly California. The move came as a surprise to the South Florida LGBTQ community and is an illustration of the pressures on the trans community. Kitty, this is near and dear to your heart. The fact that this person who had such a wonderful job felt the pressure and the need to leave the state.
Yes. I love the Aqua Foundation. It's been here as long as I have. the thing is what really hit me is the fact that he left because of the pressures and the oh gosh, the trans community is really under attack every single day. They do not deserve it. It is hurtful and painful. And I wish him the very best of luck in his future. We all have to really galvanize and support our trans community, our brothers, our sisters, our theys, our thems. We have to.
1,000%. And I just feel like for somebody that was doing so much good to leave our state and to leave our playground of really trying to make a difference, I feel bad that now California is going to have him, but you know what? California is going to really, really benefit from him being there. We wish him all the very best. And I hope they really do a good job of bringing in somebody that's just going to kick down the walls, fight for the trans community, and really be that person that's been brought from God to serve a community that's in such dire need of great leadership.
Listen, they will definitely have enormous, gigantic shoes to fill. Okay, so the big story from OutSFL, Lady Bunny brings the drama again. Now, the iconic drag queen and comedian has famously had social media commentary on RuPaul, other drag legends, and more. But this week, she turned her sights on Kamala Harris and how she doesn't live up to the hype. So the LGBTQ community exploded in reaction to Bunny. Bunny is being recognized at the Pridelines Gala, and they have received a significant backlash to her participation. And it should be noted that she is selected many, many months before she even made the comments on Vice President Kamala Harris. What do you think about that?
I'm very, very disappointed that somebody that is so inspirational and such a cheerleader of our community would question the potential next president of the United States, who I've watched for the past 4 years do incredible things for our LGBTQ community. I've never seen a vice president be so vocal for LGBTQ rights. Now, you have to remember, when Joe Biden was vice president, it was years into the presidency where they said that same-sex marriage was something they would support. That presidency didn't start with that initiative as an affirmative yes.
Not at all.
So this young lady, Miss Harris, who's now 60 years old, who's in the prime of her career, to have an icon in our community, in my mind, disrespect the work of Miss Harris and the work that she's done in California. And the support of our community in California is unprecedented. So I'm disappointed, but sometimes I feel like, you know, celebrities, they like the attention, and salaciousness gets you the press. And maybe at the career point that she's at today, that maybe she needed a lift. I don't know.
Listen, so, okay.
And that's Being Bobby Blair. I just said it. And Lady Bunny, I'll be sitting about 10 steps away from you if you want to slap me tomorrow night. But, you know, you didn't need to do that, girl.
Okay, so Lady Bunny and I have been friends for years. We follow each other on social media. And I am always in her face about her comments that she makes that disparages the other side. What I was suggesting to her is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're going to call out one side, please do so on the other and stop using it, the false disguise as being an independent. The fact is, she lives in a blue state. We live in a red state. Our governor has been trying to rip us of our rights for such a long time. So every time she has something to say on social media, I say to her, you're making money as a drag queen. Here, it's almost illegal. So,
and I will say, Kitty, that at the end of the day, Lady Bunny has a body of work that is fantastic.
Phenomenal.
And it's fabulous. And really did put the trans community on the map in the late 70s and 80s in New York. I mean, our former magazine, Next Magazine, probably had Lady Bunny on that
several
cover
times,
more than anybody else. So I like to look at people's body of work and not all of a sudden throw them into a bucket of awful.
Yes.
But the reality is tomorrow night, we're going to celebrate Lady Bunny's amazing career.
Yes.
We're going to celebrate all of the good work that Lady Bunny's done.
Absolutely.
And never forget, none of us are perfect, and none of us always make the right decision. I think one day Lady Bunny will regret what she said. I look forward to that announcement. But, you know, let's celebrate a superstar that's been wonderful for our community, done amazing things, paved the way for so many to have a career and get paid.
Yes, absolutely. We love you, Bun Bun, but check your BS.
Yeah. I want to show you what's really hot at OutSFL. This is the key source of the important LGBTQ news of South Florida, America, and really around the world. Pick up the new copy and learn about our incredible LGBTQ community.
And speaking of OutSFL, every week Bobby has a column in OutSFL called Being Bobby Blair. Now, it is a unique partnership between OutSFL and HOTspots Happening Out. This week, Being Bobby Blair talks about the relationship with LGBTQ sports legend Billy Beane.
This is a rough one, Kitty. Billy Beane was one of my closest friends.
I met him through you.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time with Billy, and he was a tireless supporter. Passed away this past week. Our friendship started very quickly. Billy was the young rising star in baseball as I was in tennis. We both were keeping a deep secret that affected our lives well into our adulthood, and we were gay. And Billy and I met in 2014, talked about it extensively, and when we were beginning the process of purchasing Frontiers Magazine in Los Angeles, we were introduced by Kirk Walker, a dear friend of both of ours. He's a successful women's softball coach at UCLA. I think won the national championship several times. Billy and I became fast friends. We met for the first time at the Abbey. And I asked him a few weeks later, would you become the national spokesperson for my newspaper, the Florida Agenda? He said a resounding yes. We spoke literally daily in those years about the power of our community having a voice. He gave me incredible ideas on how to deliver content. He was so creative, so smart. Billy was an accomplished tennis player as well. Believe it or not, he gave me a run for my money when I had a few pounds on me. And we had many fun outings on the courts. Our last one was in New York City in the height of winter. It was like 10 degrees. And I remember waiting for the taxi cab and moving. And, you know, when Brian and I moved to LA, we subleased Billy's apartment in California.
Yes.
I never forget walking into the apartment the first time and seeing all of Billy's stuff. I was so moved. The baseballs and the bats and, you know, his surfboard. And Billy was at just the beginning of his tenure as an executive to support diversity and inclusion at Major League Baseball at the time. And instead of him having to rent two places, he only had to rent one in New York City as we moved into his beautiful apartment, Brian and I. That year, Billy became the Grand Marshal of our Wilton Manor Stonewall Pride. Our relationship became so close based on the intersections of sports, being in the closet, and our coming out story, which he encouraged me to do. And it really helped me with my documentary. He came down and was with us that day. Yes. When he had flown 10 hours just to be there for that night. You can read more about my experience and stories of Billy Beane in this week's OutSFL column, Being Bobby Blair.
This is a tough one. I'm very sorry for your loss and his friends and family. He was truly a kind human being, beautiful, and just really awesome, authentic individual. And I was, a kid from the Bahamas who knows who Billy Beane is, to have the opportunity to interact with him. Remember, we were at Holiday Park shooting on the baseball diamond, and people were standing around. They were just so in awe, and he was so generous. He allowed them to come up and take pictures. It was very engaging and ingratiating, and the world is suffering an enormous loss.
Yeah, I remember when we were at Plummer Park in West Hollywood, and Billy Beane and I were playing against Jason Collins and a USC player, and Billy wanted to win so bad. And I said, well, just hit it at Jason.
Yes.
Just don't hit it at the USC kid. No. And we had so much fun, and we went to dinner that night in the Abbey. And Billy Beane was a person that cared about everything that he participated in every second of his day, his entire life. He respected people from all walks of life. He never really had the expectation of anybody other than asking them to be their authentic self. And he would embrace that authentic self. And he would try to make that person better, stronger, more confident, believe in themselves. He really, really helped me own my truth And he's a big part of why I am still here today in media, doing things to serve the community, because I feel like now the tennis player has to look after the baseball player for the next few years as long as I'm around. And a lot of what I'll do will be to serve his legacy and memory.
Absolutely. May you rest in peace. Sleep in peace, Billy Bean.
Yeah, sad. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Virtue. Virtue is a vibrant and inclusive LGBTQ intimates fashion brand dedicated to empowering individuals to express themselves authentically. There, we got it. Their mission is to provide high quality, comfortable, and stylish intimates that celebrate diversity and inclusivity. Virtue was founded in 2023, is a seamless, pioneering genderless fashion brand, Kitty, dedicated to supporting diverse, sex-positive communities. Really a great brand, Virtue, and I think that we've seen some beautiful images here on the show. And I know that they're going to come on as a guest, and we're going to be able to actually feel it and touch the product.
Yes.
But I'm so excited that they're sponsoring our show, and I'm consulting with them as well. So if you are a store and you would like to have the product in your store, or hey, Gary Santis, you know, how about a runway show with this amazing product? And of course, we got to get them in Hot Spots magazine. You know, we're really trying to help them bring the product to market, and we're so appreciative of their sponsorship of Being Bobby Blair.
There are a few specific items I observed on some of the garments, and they are of the finest quality. The buckles, the you know, the hinges that connect. I was just really, really blown away and very impressed, and it's very sexy.
Yeah, the designer Yotum Solomon has done an incredible job designing these products. And we're just so excited to be a part of it. I can't wait for some of the shows that we can attend, and they're going to be part of our show for the next several weeks, and very excited.
Can't wait to get him back here. Well, that is it for this week.
That's Being Bobby Blair. I really like that name.
You would. Next week, it's going to be Being Kitty Meow in my own mind, right? We are here every week, and we celebrate and talk about what is important to you. Launched from HOTspots magazine and the events, shows, and signature moments of our community.
We are here every week as we literally lift the stories from OutSFL newspaper off the printed page for us to better understand our world.
And no one but the Happening Out television network, part of HOTspots Happening Out nonprofit media group, is capable of doing this show. You get to see it all, and that is the magic of video.
It's so exciting. In the same spirit of NPR and PBS, for our nonprofit mission is to educate, inform, and entertain our LGBTQ community. We thank Virtue as a sponsor to help make this happen. We would also like to thank our presenting sponsor, Mark Shumate Productions. And by the way, Kitty, we're talking to all of you out there watching. If you think you're the next America's reality star, you need to reach out to us at beingbobbyblair.com. If you've got a show story, if you've got a concept, if you want to be a sponsor, we're looking to put together what the community wants for a reality show. And we're using this platform to do our call to action. In a few weeks, we're going to be hosting, after Labor Day, a talent search contest at Tropics on Sunday afternoon. And we'll give you all the details here as they get all finalized. But we're just so excited to reach out and say, what do you got? What's your life about?
Of course.
Bring the crazy, bring the salacious, bring the exciting, and let's see if we can't bring it to Hollywood.
Yes, guys, BobbyBlair.com. You've got to send your, your headshots, videos. Let us know who you are, what you like, and how you feel like you can contribute to this. Like the Real Housewives of Miami, we're about to blow them out of the water.
And we're going to start narrowing down the potential possibilities by bringing them on the show. And you're going to have a chance to actually show the world what you've got. So anyways, we're very excited about Mark Shumate Productions. Thank you for your sponsorship of Being Bobby Blair. And we're really, really looking for the next great stars.
If you have ideas for Being Bobby Blair or have events or stories you would like us to talk about, just reach out to us and send us a message. Go to bobbyblair.com and, of course, leave us your suggestions. We would greatly appreciate them.
We thank all of you for being with us today, joining in the conversation. Until next time, I'm Being Bobby Blair.